incisive discussions.
Who did not listen to him? So he said that Dr. Fabna, when you are listening, I did not interrupt. You interrupted me.
Would you say that you and other members of the National Assembly are still robbing Nigerians? Has anything changed?
I will not use the same language again.
Why?
I'll tell you.
Engaging interviews with key stakeholders in various sectors.
I'm going to direct this question to you now. All of these happening, is it true that this is a ploy to cut the influence of...
You asking me that question?
Yes.
No, please don't use that kind of language. Please, do not insult me. Okay, I'm not insulting you.
Is your government owing contractors the way to...
How would I know? You sent me to go and work in Abuja. I'm a senator in Abuja. I'm not a member of this thing.
Has it achieved what it was meant to achieve, sir?
No, we are not in position. I'm not in position to say that.
You know, but you had members on the
part is not...
You are representatives on
the question you are asking.
It is Frank Talk, quality talk, taking it from all angles, policy and politics, played out by our politicians and policy makers.
Join me, Femi Olanipekun, your host on Frank Talk, 9 to 10 a.m. every weekday on Rave 91.7 FM, where we have frank discussions and give you quality talk. Always.
Let's turn it up.
Relax and unwind because we're going live. 91.7 Wave FM.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining us here on this edition of Frank Talk on Rave 91.7 FM. Frank Talk is where we look at trending issues in the polity, bringing the issues closer to you, helping you to have a better understanding and having a better insight into the issues that we look at. Issues of policies, of politics, and also issues of governance, right, as it affects us individually and collectively as a nation. My name is Femi Olanipekun. I'm so happy to have you on board the program on Rave 91.7 FM. We're going to Ekiti State today, where the government and the governor really banned its predecessor, Dr. Kayode Fayemi. It happened some days back when Governor Ayodele Fayoshe's government, the Ekiti State government, banned the Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Kayode Fayemi, from holding public office in the state for 10 years. The ban followed the indictment of Mr. Fayemi by a judicial commission of inquiry which probed his tenure as governor of Ekiti State between 2010 and 2014. A white paper stipulating the ban was actually released on Monday. Well, some people say that ban, are speculating in some quarters that the ban was to prevent Dr. Kayode Fayemi from joining the 2018 governorship race. The administration of Governor Ayodele Fayoshe said they accepted the recommendation of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry to bar Dr. Kayode Fayemi from holding public offices in Ekiti State and other parts of Nigeria for 10 years. The panel, which was chaired by a former acting Chief Judge Justice Silas Oyewole, retired, submitted its report on December 13 last year to Fayoshe and recommended that Fayemi must refund over 2 billion naira and return 17 vehicles. Also recommended for 10-year ban from public office is the former Commissioner for Finance and Economic Development, Mr. Dapo Kolawole, who served under Governor Kayode Fayemi back then. The recommendation followed the receipt of a white paper on the report of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry, which investigated the handling of the state's finances during the Fayemi administration between October 2010 and October 2014. The white papers recommended that the duo should refund various sums of money to the coffers of the state government. The State Executive Council, SQ, also accepted the recommendations and adopted a white paper at an emergency meeting it held right there on Monday. And but then Dr. Fayemi has also responded saying, well, that is a joke taken too far. In fact, he described it as the joke of the century, saying, well, this is illegality that he said even the character of the persons involved, according to them, in a statement released by the media office of Dr. Femi, he said that the entire process and the character personnel involved are discredited, and since it is impossible to build something on nothing, legally speaking, the recommendation is not only null and void, it is ultra vires. I'm quoting the statement released by the media office of Dr. Kayode Fayemi and Damat. So it's a ding-dong really between Dr. Fayemi and Governor Ayodele Fayosha. People are saying this is in the build-up really to the 2018 governorship election in Ekiti State, saying, well, these political issues, the political temperature in that state really rising on account of these. The former governor has been probed, and the report came out on the 13th of December. Now the white paper is out, and Governor Fayosha is saying, well, is banning, according to saying the government is acting on the recommendation of that white paper to ban Dr. Kayode Fayemi. We're trying to connect to the senior special assistant to Governor Fayoshe on media and publicity, Larry Olayinka, to join us on the program, tell us why this decision was taken, and also we'll be speaking to an aide of Dr. Kayode Fayemi himself, Mr. Adebisi Adesua, to join us live on the line from Ado-Ekiti. We'll be speaking to a legal practitioner towards the end of the program to actually get the benefit of what the law says and what the position of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is on this particular matter. Still making really efforts to join Mr. Aliri Olayinka on the program right here this morning. But then Mr. Fayemi dismissed the ban and then said that it described it as a premeditated verdict of the Ekiti State government, said as contained in the white paper submitted by the panel set up by Governor Ayodele Fayoshe to investigate the finances of the state between 2010 and 2014. That's according to a statement signed by Yinka Oyebode, who is the media aide to Dr. Kayode Fayemi. I'm quoting now, saying, while we'll believe it is part of the responsibilities of the state administration to look into the finances of the state at any point in time, we're also of the belief that such must be done in a very responsible manner, devoid of prejudice, witch hunting, and a calculated attempt to victimize a citizen. In this particular case, the entire process is discredited right from the beginning, as the only agenda of the panel was to rubbish Dr. Kayode Fayemi's public service record. As one is therefore not surprised at the recommendations of the white paper, it only goes to confirm our initial position that the panel was compromised right from the inception and targeted against Dr. Kayode Fayemi. Well, there was some moves also by the former governor to actually take this matter to court. In fact, it went to High Court, and some decisions are also reached on that. But then we hope to speak with these personnel to get the benefit of their positions on this matter as we speak. If we can't get to Larry Olayinka at the moment, we will speak to the media, another aide of Dr. Fayemi at the moment, to get what he has to say about this particular matter right here. What they believed, according to the Fayemi camp, that this is nothing that is not going to stand. And then we wait to see also towards the end of the program, we'll speak to a legal practitioner to let us into what the Constitution says on this. Does the state government have the powers really to ban for 10 years Dr. Kayode Fayemi and Mr. Dikbo Kolawole from joining a public service? We're joined live on the line from Ado-Ekiti, the state capital now, by Mr. Adebisi Adesua. Is a former aide, is an aide of Dr. Kayode Fayemi. He served under his administration while he was governor from 2010 to 2014. Thank you so much for joining us on Frank Talk this morning, Mr. Adesua.
Good morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Well, tell me, this ban by the Ekiti state government said is acting on the recommendations of the white paper of the panel of the Commission of Inquiry set up to probe your principal, Dr. Kayode Fayemi. Tell me, what do you make of that ban?
The white paper by the kangaroo panel set up by Governor Fayoshe cannot stand. is purely an executive recklessness and political rascality taken so far. The panel setup is made up of PDP cronies and some civil servants that are loyal to him. You see, he cannot even stand a proper judicial scrutiny. He started by setting up alleging Dr. Femi of embezzling 835 million to BEP fund. That's how it started. And he invited Access Bank. Access Bank came over and they told him, we took over this money. Since we gave out a loan and the federal government could not ascertain whether they are going to pay back the loan. So they took back the money because the money was domiciled in their account. So by the time he found out that he has failed in that respect, he now turned it over that the 35 billion naira bond that he could not account for about 2.40 billion, which is not true. That's not what happened. And you know, you cannot be a judge in your own case. This case is talking about cannot even stand. It has a precedence. During the time of Article versus Obasanjo, one of us set up a panel to indict Article not to contest. The Supreme Court said a man cannot be a judge in his own case. He cannot stop Alaji Article from contesting the presidency. So he has a precedence. He's just a kangaroo panel set up by a kangaroo government and want to indict a gentleman. Of the Femi.
Mr. Desua, you said this commission is peopled by members of the PDP. The chairman is a former acting chief judge of the state. You reckon that man is not necessarily supposed to be partisan?
Okay, acting former chief judge.
Yeah, Justice Silas Oyewole.
Yeah, he said he's former acting. So he has loyalty to Fayose. In fact, I have to tell that one of the panel members just been promoted to a permanent secretary now, which is not even qualified for. He's not due for it. One of the panelists, one of the people that are the panelists, has been promoted to the permanent secretary. So there are people that he called together. They are his own personal people. He is the executive governor. Like I told you, he's the present governor. So he has the power to choose whoever he wants to choose to be at the panel.
But you know, isn't it proper? Are you saying it's wrong, really, for this administration of Governor Ayodele Fayose to probe into the finances or how the funds of the state was managed during the time of his predecessor, Dr. Kayode Fayemi?
No, he has every right to probe. He's the executive governor of the state. He's the chief accounting officer of the state. So he has every right to probe. Even the past government, not Fayemi, he can probe to the first governor of the state. He can even probe Ejina Shegoni. But he decided to probe Dr. Fayemi because of some hidden things. He knows what he's doing. He has seen that Dr. Fayemi is coming back to get the power from him. And he's the only one that has the capacity that can take over the power from him. He knows everything. He knows what he's doing. He could go beyond the local refinery. He could probe to the top of the Shegoni. But he just stopped at the local refinery.
But let's look at the substance of the inquiry itself. The probe itself was about the finances. The allegations leveled against your principal include diversion of funds. Part of the recommendations also talked about the governor having to refund about 2 billion naira. Saying funds were mismanaged. Did your principal mismanage these funds while he was in office?
It's not true. It's not. Let me come by saying this. Prior to the time the panel was set up, the House of Assembly has already indicted the local refinery without inviting him. One of them was on here, one of the members, and was calling him a chief, a member of the House of Assembly from our constituency. And the speaker, they have already indicted. They have already finished the case before even inviting. They told him that he has no money, he has done this before they started the panel at all. So he knew that it was already pre-arranged agreement. So coming over to appear before a panel that the end has been determined from the beginning. You cannot hold water. And also he doesn't have power to prove. But all he's saying is not true. Why the desperation to need the local refinery at all costs? Why the desperation?
But even if Governor Femi believes that this commission maybe tilted in favor of one particular side, don't you think just to clear his name, judging by the allegations, the weighty allegations leveled against him, just to clear his name and that of the Commissioner for Finance, Mr. Vincent Kolawole, that it would have been proper for him to appear before the commission just to clear his name on these matters?
Very good. Like I told you, maybe you didn't hear me well. I said, prior to the setting up of this panel, the House of Assembly members, the General Assembly member, had already indicted the local Femi, telling him that he stole the Subeb fund of 835 million naira. You understand? That he stole the money. Even one of the House of Assembly members actually went on here from the Broadcasting Corporation of Ekiti State Brand Corporation and told everybody that California told that a member of the House, about 2 of them, they went. So now, if the same government is now setting up a panel, and look at it, you now want to appear. If government has already indicted you before even inviting you, because when they have already concluded, invited him to the House of Assembly, when they have passed the judgment, he now said, what's it coming to do? And I want to point it out like this. Do you know that the 895 million to that fund that they actually alleged him for, the interest of that money, 71 million, was actually paid to the same government. And he received it, he never mentioned anything until Access Bank managers were invited by the panel. They now told the whole world that even we paid interest on the money, and the same government received it. So he was shocked. If he had known, he wouldn't have invited them. So they even invited him. So he now shifted attention from the Subeb fund and went to other things. That there are some contracts that the supply of furniture and the like. He was just thinking about the bush, just wanting by any means just to nail him. Just to case of message, I told you it's purely exemplary recklessness and political rascality. It does not have the power to ban anybody for 10 years. It's only a court or competent jurisdiction that could do that.
Okay, but another aspect of the white papers read out by the Commissioner for Information, Mr. Ogunsoye, is that your principal took 2.7 billion naira that was allegedly allocated for the execution of the contract for ultra-modern market. He said that contract was never executed, and he's saying part of the recommendation of the white paper is for Governor Kayode Fayemi to refund that money.
It's not true. It's not true. See, like I told you, he was not there. They decided all the cases and they passed the judgment.
Okay, but was any contract awarded for the ultra modern market at the cost of 2.7 billion naira?
Let me tell you this. When I was in government, my office was hub of governance. I know what transpired within the system. You understand? The contract talking about was never executed, was never carried out. Of course, there was an intention to carry out that contract. But the market itself, there was an issue on the market. All this tradition stuff and the like, the government said they should leave the market for now. So the money was either something else. It was not even they didn't even plan to exactly. It was part of what they intend to do, but they didn't. They shifted the something. The money to something else.
Was any money released?
With the approval of the ESCO and the STB.
But was any money released? Maybe any part of the 2.7 billion released? Maybe at the beginning for the execution of that project.
No, nothing of such. Like I told you, it was an intention. Look, it's like you now. You have a budget for a year. It doesn't mean that all the things in the budget will be executed. Is what you expect to come in, and what budget is being done. If you say you want to do this, you want to do that, then sometimes you will not be able to fund in some project that you intend to fund. That's what we call budget. Even your personal budget, okay, in this month I will do that, I will do that. By the time you see your income, you look at the expenses involved, that's something you have to strike out. That's what we call budget. It was actually part of. See, it's so unfortunate that Fayose, in his position as the executive governor of the state, I expect somebody in such an executive position to be properly briefed and educated on the limitations of his powers. But most times, he doesn't listen to anybody. He does it as he wants to be. You understand? He doesn't read files. He just says, he gives directives verbally. You can confirm. It doesn't really try, it doesn't do anything. So even the attorney general of the state that could have briefed him, that could have educated him, he doesn't listen to him. Even when that one is talking, if you're not able to talk with facts and figures, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Let him take you see, the case will be in court. You see, all the things he's saying cannot stand.
Okay, well, another part of that recommendation that it should just be fair and good to clarify and clear the air on is about the bond.
I didn't get you.
I'm saying another part of that white paper that will be just good enough for us to clarify is about the upgrade of infrastructure at Ikogosi Warm Spring. This white paper said that the governor, or former governor, Kayode Fayemi, and his commissioner should account for the difference of 340 million naira from the 1.5 billion naira earmarked for the bond proceeds for the upgrade of infrastructure at Ikogosi Warm Spring. Was anything like that also executed at that particular point in time?
See, like I told you, by the time he came on board, Ikogosi was almost dead. Nothing was happening there. You understand? By the time Dr. Fayemi came on board in 2010, nothing was happening in Ikogosi. There was a need for the tourist center to be upgraded. Ikogosi is a tourist attraction. All over the world people come there. But when they came on board, he just said that let us upgrade the facility. And he did everything he could. And the time we were leaving government, I speak to you, people come from all over the world. If you have he upgraded, renovated, he upgraded Ikogosi to level that people come from different places, book online, and come to the visitation. But as I speak to you now, Ikogosi is a shadow of himself. Ikogosi wants to in a shadow of himself. It was a complete restoration. I wish you were there during the time of the 4 years he spent. I wish you come around and see Ikogosi in the night. You will see white people, you will see, but as I speak to you now, nothing is happening. Everything the man did it has come down. Nothing happens there again.
So, with all of these allegations, with this particular decision of the state government, what's Governor Kayode Fayemi going to do next? Is he going to approach the courts?
Of course. That's the next time of action.
And what some people are saying, this is in a bid to prevent him from contesting in the 2018 governorship election in Ekiti State. But tell me, is Governor Kayode Fayemi, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, interested in returning to the government house in Ekiti?
Well, that is left for him to say. But I want to tell you this. Like I told you, this present government understood politics. He knows that it is only Dr. Kayode Fayemi, when it comes back, it's the only person that can raise power from him. That is why he's trying by any means necessary to name it not to contest. Why will you sit down somewhere and set up a kangaroo panel and ban only for 10 years from contesting? Are you God? Are you the chief judge? If we are, like I told you, it has happened before. The guy just set up a panel to name Dr. like the article. And the God said, no, you can't do that. It's only a competent court that can do that. So he wants to nail him, doesn't want him to contest. He's not one that has the capacity to wrest power from him. So that's why he's doing all he's doing, not to stop him from contesting. But if he decides to contest.
I mean, when you speak with the aides of, Governor Ayodele Fayoshe, they tell you that, Governor Fayemi is no threat to them. And they talked about the fact that they defeated him 16-0, at the last election, saying, in fact, to them, Dr. Fayemi is a featherweight. There is no challenge really for them.
Anyway, that's the joke of the century. I was involved with that government. I was involved during that day. I wish we were in Ekiti. Thank God we are in Oshogo. You see people that came, marksmen. It's intimidated our supporters. Many leaders ran into the bush. I could not even stay in my local government. I ran away as well. As I speak to you, nobody could stay. Even nobody could go to the other office to verify. It got to that level. Nobody could follow up with the result from the ward. So they were busy manipulating anything. They were the only one in all the other offices, even the local government council. So what do you expect? What do you expect from such results? So he knows what he has done the last time. He used the federal management, and Captain Kohli is everywhere. Captain Kohli brought out the tape, which indicted him, indicted the Minister of Police Affairs. And the men that were involved, the military men that were involved, as I speak to you, have been relieved of their job. A man that put Brigadier Momo or whatever. He was relieved after something years, Brigadier General. He was dismissed from service without payment. You should know without any compensation or whatever, or gratuity. You should know the enormity of what they did in Ekiti. I spoke to, there was a day we were going for the rally. The commandant of the Mopo shot at the Dorka refinery. They shot charges at him. That's why enter can move on. It was so terrible in Ekiti as at that time. But they could not replicate the same thing in Osogbo because they have known the antics, what they did in Ekiti. So they were able to call them in Osogbo, Osun State. You know, it was 1 month difference between our 2 months difference in the election. So that's what happened.
I mean, you're saying the result of that last election is not a true reflection of the wishes of the people.
We have never won an election without federal backing. Governor Fash has never won an election in Ekiti without federal backing. Look at the last time. Let me take it to history. When it came in 2003 to raise the power from Adebayo, the same thing happened. Tinubu and other governors were locked up they didn't allow them to come out. About them wanted to take over Southwest at all costs. It was only Lagos State we could raise the power. We could take over. They took over the whole Southwest State. The same thing happened in 2010 when they had the 2014 election. It's this same federal mind. He knows he is a politics and power. He knows that it's only through the federal mind that can take over power. He did it before, so he has done it. He did it 2003 and did 2014. He's true federal, but he can never win an election. He talks like, everybody knows the way he talks. He doesn't talk like somebody that is a true executive position.
But tell me, I mean, frankly, what's the concern in your camp? Don't you think these kind of reports about banning, about allegations of corruption leveled against Dr. Kayode Fayemi is doing some damage to his brand and the psyche of the people of Ekiti State?
See, as I speak to you now, I'm in Ekiti. The negativity is turned to positivity. We wanted to invite him. Come to the streets of Ekiti. Come to the streets of Ado. People are now wondering, why the investment? What has this man done? He's getting more popular by the day. As I told you, go to the street, go and meet the civil servants, go to the market, meet the artisans, market women. What has it done? Why the 10 years? Abba, face your own business. What you are doing, the whole state is going down, it's going backward. Things are not working in the state again as it used to be. See, what I knew was there. I want to digress a bit. Anywhere, I cannot promise, any environment you get to, when you see passenger traffic, when you see hotels springing up, and you see filling stations springing up, you should know what is happening in that environment. That means passenger traffic has increased. The time finally came on board, about 5 or 7 3-star hotels in sprang up in Adekiti. And they are getting more people coming in. People want to come to Ekiti and see what is happening because the environment was peaceful, was lovely. People come from far and near, come to Kogosi. So the environment was lively. There was this way going on in the state. You see there are activities everywhere. But as I speak to you, things are not diving. People are not moving in again. Market woman is complaining. Street ushers are complaining. Nothing is working now. So people now are now talking, gathering in tents, in tools, and talking about how they find me. What he wanted, he could not achieve. It's not turned to positivity. It's getting more popular by the day.
All right. Well, we'd like to thank you very sincerely, Mr. Adebisi Adesua, aide of Dr. Kayode Fayemi, joining us over the line from Ado-Ekiti. We thank you so much for speaking with us. We definitely get across to you again as events unfold on this particular matter.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, Mr. Adebisi Adesua joined us live on the line from Ado-Ekiti, the Ekiti State capital, to speak on this ban by the Ekiti State government on Dr. Kayode Fayemi. He served under him as a special assistant during his time as governor from October 2010 to October 2014. We've been trying to connect to Mr. Larry Olayinka, who is the spokesman of Governor Edele Fayoshe on this matter. He gave us his word yesterday to speak with us this morning, but he's not been picking his calls as of yet. But then we keep on trying before we cross over to the lawyer and get a legal perspective on this. how effective or how binding is that supposed to ban by the Ekiti State government on Dr. Kayode Fayemi, banning him from contesting public office or holding public offices for the next 10 years. And that was also done to his commissioner for finance at that time, Mr. Vincent Kolawole. We wait to connect to Mr. Larry Olayinka, and if we are still unable to connect to him, we definitely cross over to our legal experts to tell us what the position of the law is on this particular matter. This ban has been generating lots of reactions in the political space, especially in Ekiti, with different people weighing in on the matter, having different positions. Really, the state government is insisting that it did what is right and that it is all in a bid to promote accountability. The Commissioner for Information, Mr. Lanre Ogunsuyi, while addressing the press on this matter on Monday, said that Ekiti State was a pace setter in management of finances. He said that the Ekiti State government views accountability and probity as the hallmark of good governance, and he said the government decided to therefore set up the Judicial Panel of Inquiry in line with his law enacted in 2012, and said that the Ekiti State government viewed seriously the report and it intends to carry out all the recommendations in that report. And like I said earlier on, the white paper mandated Fayemi and Kolawole, Fayemi being the former governor of the state, the immediate predecessor of Governor Adele Fayoche, and Mr. Vincent Kolawole, the Commissioner for Finance under the administration of Dr. Kayode Fayemi, to refund 2.7 billion naira, which was allegedly allocated for the execution of the contract for the ultra-modern market that was never executed. But then you heard the media, the aide of the Dr. Kayode Fayemi here saying, well, it was a key figure in that administration. It was in the hub of government at that time, and that project was never monies were never released for that particular project because of some constraints, traditional communal issues there, and then maybe finance issues there. What we'll try is still trying to get to Mr. Larry Olayinka, get the benefit of the decision of the Ekiti State government, why they had to do what they did, why they had to ban, why they moved to ban, if this is indeed a ploy by the Ekiti State government to prevent Governor Kayode Fayemi from contesting the 2018 governorship election that is scheduled to hold in June this year, or if this is all in the bid to promote accountability and transparency. We'll speak to a legal practitioner also. Mr. Bismail Latif will be joining us live on the line from Ile-Ife, the university town of Ile-Ife, to join us and then talk to us about what the position of the law is on these matter. Then we open the phone lines for you also to weigh in on the matter and tell us what you make of that particular decision by the Ekiti State government. The state government believes that it is doing what is right within the ambit of the law. It's about appointing, according to them, competent people for the assignment, and said, I'm quoting Mr. Larry Ogunsuyi now, he said, we must be seen to be doing the right thing, and it is not wrong to ask for the finances of the state, how the finances of the state have been appropriated within a given time, and we are following due process. He even said that the APC government could probe these and that. Even if you say they are biased, what can anyone do? I'm not part of the panel that sat for the inquiry. They submitted a report to me and I presented it to the appropriate organ, and I will do the same with this document. This is not personal in any way. We are only doing the right thing and following the process. That's the position of the Ekiti State government, trying to justify its decision really to actually probe and to implement to the letter the recommendations of this particular white paper of the panel commission of inquiry headed by Silas Oyewole, former acting chief judge of the states. Let's go to Mr. Misbah Latif. He's a legal practitioner, to join us, and then let's have benefit of what the position of the law is on this very matter on the program this morning. Then we open the phone lines for you to join us on Frank Talk and tell us what you make of the decision of the Ekiti State government to ban Governor Kayode Fayemi and Mr. Vincent Kolawole, who was the Commissioner for Finance at that particular point in time. for various financial infractions, according to them. And they're saying these are recommendations of the Commission of Inquiry that looked into the finances of the state during the time that the governor Kayode Fayemi was in position. We are joined live on the line now by Mr. Misbah Lateef, is a legal practitioner, also a lecturer in the Faculty of Law, Obafemi Awolowo University Ife. Thank you so much for joining us on Frank Talk this morning, Mr. Lateef. Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining us, sir.
All right, thank you, Femi. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Well, tell me, this ban by the Ekiti State government on Dr. Kayode Fayemi, what's the position of the law? Can the state government really ban Dr. Kayode Fayemi from contesting public office for the next 10 years?
Well, looking at the law, ordinarily, I would say a state, indeed, under the laws of Nigeria, and by this I mean the Constitution, has the power to set up a judicial commission of inquiry, or whatever name they call it. It could be an administrative panel of inquiry, or a tribunal, or whatever name they call it, under their law. And usually, across the state, we have a law by that name, which is called a Tribunal Inquiry Law of the state, or Tribunal Inquiry Law, or Act rather, in the case of a federal government. So now, to that extent, a state government can actually set up a panel, like I said, and that panel will have the power under law, to act according to the terms given to it, and then can pass indictments. Can indict whoever has been charged before the panel, or whoever has been dragged before the panel. And the indictment, also by law, can be acted upon. But all of this will also depend on the process, whether the process also follows the requirement of the law. But to answer your question straightforward, a state can indeed indict, and the panel can make recommendations. The only problem where I have issue is whether, the panel, because I wouldn't know what the law of Ekiti State specifically, and by law I mean the Tribunal Inquiry Law of Ekiti State, if there is one, whether it says the tribunal can actually place, specific years, on a politician, or bar a politician for a number of years. But again, the panel, if there is one, has the right or power under the law. And if you look at Section 131 of the 1999 Constitution, for example, which specify the requirements, for a person to become the president of Nigeria, or Section 137, 1I, for example, listed among one of the reasons why a person may be disqualified from becoming the president, an indictment report of a panel that has been accepted. So meaning that if a person has been indicted by a panel of inquiry set up by the state or federal government under this particular Section 137 sub 1I, such a person is disqualified, even without going through court of law, from contesting for president of Nigeria. And now let us come to the state. The same provision applies to the state. Under Section 177, for example, the requirement of becoming a governor is clearly stated. Then if you go further, under Section 182, sub 1I, part of the requirement that may disqualify a person from becoming a governor of the state is if the person has been indicted by a panel of whether administrative or whatever, or judicial commission of inquiry, as may be set up by the government of a state and as may be accepted by that state. So to this extent, I would say that a state, indeed, under our law and under the section that I've referred to, has the power to set up, and under their law anyway, has the power to set up a panel of inquiry, and this panel may indict a person, and the indictment may serve as a basis, of disqualifying a person from becoming a governor or a minister, for example, a president, for example.
But judging by the fact that our laws are conducted under the national laws, constitution, INEC will use the federal laws really to conduct the elections. Does whatever the Ekiti State government position is, or in this case the ban, will it have effect on the decision of INEC, sir?
Tell me honestly, as a matter of law, it should affect whatever INEC will do, because the section that I've referred to are very clear on this. And assuming we are talking of Dr. Femi, for example, who, may aspire to become president of Nigeria or even governor of the state again. I'm saying by the provisions of these laws that I've mentioned, a person is disqualified from becoming a governor if he has been indicted and that indictment has been accepted. So the point is that if the report, the white paper, for example, is passed on to INEC, INEC is ordinarily, by requirement of law, obliged to act on such report, particularly when it wants to consider whether the person is qualified to vie for the position or not. However, as regards other position, and I want to really clarify this, whether appointment as a commissioner or as a minister, the Constitution does not have any such specified, conditions, like I stated earlier.
Hello?
Hello, yes.
Okay.
I think I've made that point.
Okay. Well, thank you. Just before, I let you go, this particular decision, the aides to Governor Kayode Fayemi are saying, well, there's a precedent in law, and they're making reference to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar's, situation that time when he was indicted and he went to court, and, Supreme Court ruled on it and saying, well, that does not hold water. Does that apply in this Fayemi's case also?
Well, in the case of the Atiku, if I recall very well, I think the Supreme Court did make, the distinction. In the case of Atiku, it was more or less, an EFCC report, which was acted upon by the federal government. It wasn't really a panel that was set up under the Tribunal Inquiry Law, or the Tribunal Inquiry Act of the Federation. If I recall very well again, I think the case of Atiku is quite different from this one. So that you cannot say it is in all cases that only a court may indict a person. I'm saying if the Constitution, as we have said, says that you are disqualified from becoming a governor or from becoming the president if you have been indicted, and these wordings are very, very clear, which I refer to. You may also go through them. I don't think the case of Atiku, can be likened to this, and I think there is a distinction. However, it is still open to Dr. Kayode Fayemi to approach a competent court of law to review, the report of this panel. That is where the court has what I would call a final say, meaning that the court can still pronounce on this. And I'm aware they actually went to court trying to stop the tribunal or the panel of inquiry, and I understand that they are on appeal now or wherever. Whatever it is, I'm saying it is still open for a court of law to reverse what the tribunal has done. But until that has been done, I'm afraid Dr. Fayemi may not be able to contest, for the position of president of Nigeria or the governor as we speak now, until he has been able to set aside that, indictment report. So the state has the power to do, I think, what they have done.
Thank you very much.
The process can be examined or questioned in court.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Mr. Misbah Latif, for joining us, giving us the benefit of your wealth of experience on this matter. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
My pleasure, Femi. Thank you, too.
Thank you. All right. Well, Mr. Latif joined us live on the line from Ile-Ife to speak on this matter, giving us benefit of a legal perspective on that matter. Let's try and connect again to Mr. Alere Olayinka this time, get to know why the Ekiti state government is taking this particular decision at this particular point in time, and is it because of the 2018 governorship election in that particular state? Well, we spoke earlier on to the side of the former governor. Mr. Alere Olayinka joins us now. Thank you so much for joining us on Frank Talk this morning, Mr. Olayinka.
Yeah, good morning.
Well, tell me, why did the Ekiti state government decide to ban Governor Kayode Fayemi for 10 years? Some people are saying this is because the state government does not want him to partake in the 2018 governorship election.
Well, let me say this expressly. If you ask me, I would prefer that we even have former Governor Kayode Fayemi as the candidate of the APC, because it makes the election very, very easy for us. Is somebody that's an art cell here. Nobody is willing to touch him. Even within his party, nobody is willing to associate with a product called Kayode Fayemi. And I'm surprised that the man does not appear to know that people don't want him here. So it's not about election, because if as someone that has been here for a very long time politically, I would prefer that we face that PDP candidate, someone like Kayode Fayemi. So it is not about politics. It is about reality. You don't govern a state, run the state account, loot the treasury, steal money with reckless abandon and believe that, not just assume that people will just hold their arms and allow just go like that. It doesn't work out. It doesn't add up. So it's not about politics. It's about reality.
Well,
if somebody as a governor took 25 billion naira bond, and part of the thing listed in the bond is that he was going to build a market in Adetu for over 2 billion naira, and no market was built, and the money went like that. You expect that the government the people should not ask questions. If somebody just went to a bank, took 5 billion naira loan from the commercial bank in the name of the company with 15 million naira share capital, and it took that 5 billion naira like 3 months to the 2014 election, and the money just went like that. There's no trace of what the money was used for. If somebody as governor bought vehicles and like 12, 13, 14, 15 buses were given to the state government as a gift, and there's no trace of those buses. Koskari's motor gave the state government vehicles, buses as a gift, like 15 of them. We cannot trace one out of those buses, and you expect that someone should not ask questions.
Okay, but Governor Femi, Dr. Femi has responded to this, and he said this is a premeditated verdict and a joke taken too far. They said that while they are, admitting that it's part of the responsibility of the state government to probe into the finances of the state at any point in time, they also have to believe that such should be done in a very responsible manner, devoid of prejudice, witch hunting, and a calculated attempt to victimize the citizen.
How responsible do you want a probe to be done? The governor first. The law under which the probe panel was set up was made by Femi when he was governor. He made the law. He sent the bill to the House of Assembly then, and the House of Assembly passed the bill. He signed the law. So you made the law when you were governor, and that law is being applied. You refuse to apply to appear before the panel. He refused to appear before the panel to defend himself. What else do you want the government to do? When you say when somebody says you are a thief, and you are invited to come and defend yourself, you refuse to appear. You choose to go to court to challenge the validity of the law that he made by himself. To me, it doesn't make sense. And let me tell you, we are in Nigeria. Even Evans, the man that we all call a kidnapper, he went to court to say that he should not be tried, that he has fundamental human right to move around the country and not to be. Okay. Evans.
Well, because of our time, Mr. Layenka, because of our time, let me just ask you, because of our time, before I let you go, do you believe that these can stand the test of judicial scrutiny in both form and content?
That what?
That this particular ban, this particular decision of the state government can stand judicial scrutiny?
Well, the position of the panel of inquiry and the white paper and gazetting the white paper is a process. It's one process that has been done. Let us keep our fingers crossed. When we get to that bridge, we'll begin to know how to cross it. He went to court, and the court told him pointedly that the governor has right to set up a probe panel. That the governor can constitute a probe panel. The court told him. So if he has failed in court in that regard, the probe panel has come out with his report now. Let us see whether the report also will be valid.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for speaking with us this morning, Mr. Larry Olanipekun, spokesman of Governor Ayodele Fayose of Ekiti State. We thank you so much for joining us on Frank Talk this morning.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Olanipekun joined us live on the line from Ado-Ekiti, the Ekiti State capital. Joining us, we had hoped to link up with him earlier before now. But let's open the phone lines for you to join us on the program at this point. We'd like to keep your comments very short because of the time we have left here.
You can now join the conversation by calling 0806 867 6165. 0806 867 6165 and 0905 648 7177. You can equally make use of our social media platforms. For WhatsApp, 0703-175-9173, 0703-175-9173. Tweet at us at Rave917FM, and Facebook is Rave917FM. Do remember to turn down the volume on your radio set or move away from it. And please, let's keep our comments civil. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Mr. Femi.
Good morning, sir. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Sholama Konjola.
Thank you for joining us, sir.
From Oshogbo.
All right.
You see, for Dr. Kayode Fayemi not appearing before the panel, that shows that he has committed that offense. Now, look at when Aregbesola came, he took Onilola to High Court. The man went there. He defended himself. No skeleton in his cupboard. My suggestion is the governor of Ekiti State should submit the report of the panel to the president, to the EFCC, should be prosecuted because Fayemi is a criminal. Thank you.
Well, it won't be fair to use such words, really. The person of Dr. Kayode Fayemi, please, let's be mindful of our choice of words, when we comment here. Let's just look at the issues, not really cast aspersions or malign anyone's character. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Morning. Adedire is my name. I'm speaking from Ojaja in Ile-Ife.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Adedire.
In as much as Dr. Fayemi was the maker of that law, and in as much the law says governor could put in place a panel of inquiry, and in as much he has gone to court to challenge that panel, and court has ruled that the governor has the right to set up the panel. I don't think it will be necessary for Dr. Fayemi to again approach court.
All right. Thank you very much. This message on Twitter here, Marcelo, Twitter about Sunday 8. The court is still available for Dr. Kayode Fayemi to ventilate his position. The panel of inquiry report still stands. The law is the law. And on WhatsApp, Omotoyo Simofin, follower from Owode, there says, what Governor Ayodele Fayose did was so bad. He doesn't have any rights to ban anybody, that he or she shouldn't hold any post. Only the court of law can say that. And this one is from Adeyemi John from Oshogbo. He's saying Governor Fayose politicized these issues and he didn't have any power to ban anybody. He himself was guilty of this allegation he leveled against his predecessor during his first tenure as governor under Obasanjo administration. Luther banning Luther from contesting a political post. And Desmond from Ife says, I think that there is no issue about the matter. They are politicizing the event due to build up to gubernatorial election this year in Ekiti. I think that they should allow the courts to decide and pray for peaceful election in this year. God bless Rave nations and Nigeria. And Olanipekun from Afiz from Oshogbo, Senator DVC was very biased in his comments. Fayose has done his possible best to move Ekiti forward in terms of education and infrastructure. Last year December, during scarcity of petrol, Fayose has done his best to make life easy for his people. And this one is from Olusegun from Estate. He said, it's all politics. The State House of Assembly can make inquiry about previous governments and recommendations could be made which are subject to ratifications in court of law. The manner at which the recommendation was carried out is rather unfair and too hasty. And on Facebook, this one from Johnny Akomolafe says, Governor Fayose is using politics and the issues of ex-governor. What of himself, who has the same issues with the immunity covered him? That means he himself will face the same case after his tenure in Ekiti State this year. I'm sure the governor himself has skeleton in his cupboard. This is the reason he's imposing his deputy governor on the other governorship aspirants in the state. One last call, then we say our advice on the program this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
What's the name, where you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Kamal. I'm calling from Osun.
Thank you, Mr. Kamal.
Yeah, I think the people serving under this current federal government administration, they should be a little bit less arrogant. I could recollect when Oyinola was the national secretary of the ruling party then, he was invited and he appeared in court. And his appearance was the end of that panel. Nothing was said of that panel again. I don't know why those serving with the Buhari are being arrogant. They need to present themselves to the law. The law is set up to uphold. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the program. Frank Talk this morning. We've looked at the situation right here in Ekiti State. The governor banning the former governor for 10 years and his commissioner for finance. We believe that there'll be more developments on this issue as we move on. Let's sneak in this message from Facebook. George Prayer Diri is saying, "Evil must come to equity with a clean. Evil must come to equity. Must come with a clean hand. Femi should appear before the inquiry committee." That's from George. Thank you so much. Well, we thank you so much. We spoke to an aide to Governor Kayode, Femi Adebisi Adesua. He joined us live on the line from Adwekiti. We spoke also to a legal practitioner, Mr. Misbah Latif, to look at the legal perspective on this matter. And we did spoke also to Mr. Larry Olayinka, the spokesman of the Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose. Thank you so much for being a part of our world. My name is Femi Olanipekun. Thanking you so much for listening. Asking you to join us again tomorrow. Do have for yourself a great Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Rave 91.7 FM.